What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at professions in Bless Online. I'll show you how to collect the materials you'll need, what you can do with them, and I'll give you a few tips on what I think are some of the better professions. So in Bless, you have a choice of 3 primary professions and 2 secondary professions. You can choose one of each. The primaries include armorsmithing, which I have on this character, where you can make gear, but not weapons, jewelry crafting, where you can make jewelry, and then enchanting, where you can make runes for your gear, which get socketed in sort of like a gem. The secondary professions are cooking and alchemy. Cooking makes your typical out of combat food with food buffs as well. Alchemy makes potions, and it can kind of make some sort of trinkets and battle combat buffs that you can activate. With the gathering professions, everyone gets gathering, which is for your herbs, spices, cloth, that kind of thing, and mining, which is your typical ore and stone, gold, silver. You get both of these and you don't have to choose between either of them. Of course, taming, everyone gets taming by default. I have a video on that as well if you want to check that out and know more about taming. So let's start with gathering and mining. You're going to need some tools. You can just buy these off the general vendor. They're very cheap, 30-40 copper per. Nothing too expensive. I've got a bunch in my bag here. Pickaxes and gathering tools. That's the only 2 you need. Gathering tools go for gathering. They collect everything that isn't ore, pretty much. So gathering is really straightforward. You go up, it's just like any other game. Out in the world, we got some cotton here. You can go up, you can collect the cotton. You can see you can actually get lower gathering speed too. We'll talk about that in a bit. But you got an ore node over here. But the most important thing is this thing right here. Zoom in a little. It's called the Turbine Brothers on NA and EU, or I'm sure it'll be different on NA and EU. It's called Turbine Brothers with the English patch here, but we'll go in here, we'll take a look. This is very important that you look for these. When we get in here, you'll see it has every gather and mine item in the game. So you can see here, you got the 2 brothers. One TPs you out and one will start the event. So I'll go ahead and start it up here. Once it's started, you see in the top left corner, you get a 3-minute timer. There's a room here with ore nodes. We'll take a look. There's a secret in here too. We'll find it and I'll let you know. But it's got all the ore in here: stone, meteorite, silver, iron, that kind of thing. You go over into this room in here. This is kind of your crops and some herbs. I'm sure the names will be different in NA and EU. We'll look in here. Oh, I see it. So check this out. This can appear in any of the rooms. It's a gold ore. And when you mine it, you have a chance to get 1 gold bar. I got unlucky and I didn't get one that time, of course, for the video. But you'll get one of these gold ore bars, and it's just a trash item, and you just sell it straight to the vendor for 1 gold. So that's pretty cool. If you want to look around, make sure to grab that each time you're in. But yeah, this is, you just go up and you collect them. You got some corn here, pretty straightforward. And then over in the last room here is more kind of like a grab bag. I guess it's not quite farming, not quite herb, but there's a little farming too. I guess they just kind of split these 2 rooms up however you want. Some cabbage, some cotton, I don't even know, parsley here. So yeah, so kind of 2 rooms of gathering, 1 room of mining. You can see, as I was showing as well, the more you level up your gathering and mining, you get buffs. So I'm a professional miner, so I gained increased mining speed by 10% on the first tier here at experienced. And then when I became professional, I gained an additional 10% gathering speed plus a small lucky chance gain, which is just kind of, you proc and you get a little bit more back whenever you gather. Instead of like 5, you get 6, kind of like that. But there are some really good party buffs that reduce your gathering speed. You can get your gathering speed all the way down to under 1 second with pets as well. I have a bunch of pets that have different buffs. You can get gathering speed or collecting speed, collecting quantity. You can get more stuff for production as well. So yeah, so let's go on over. Now that you know how to get some of this stuff, let's take a look at what you can do with it after you've gathered it. Alright, so now that you've gathered all your materials, what can you do with them? We'll start over here at the Armorsmith. Armorsmith makes all your armor types, but no weapon types. So no one can craft weapons, only armor. The way you get patterns is you start with a set amount once you've learned armorsmithing. You even get some that are learned, but you don't have access to yet until you get a higher proficiency. So I didn't have to learn these. They came baseline with armorsmithing. Once you level up, you can also go to the trainer and you can learn some patterns as well. You can see over here, you can check mark possible to obtain. You can see the ones you can't obtain yet, or for your class only. So once you get high enough, some of them you can see here cost adventure points, which you get through doing dungeons and PvE kind of stuff. Some things sometimes will cost gold, so just keep an eye out what it costs when you learn it. And there's also patterns that drop from dungeons out in the world that you can learn for your professions as well. So like I said, armorsmithing is pretty straightforward. You get your armor and stuff, but each kind of profession has almost a sort of quality of life item they can kind of make. So the thing that armorsmithing has that's really important is repair tools. Now I'll go over this real quick. Basically, you can repair your gear at a blacksmith like any other game, but when you do that, it will reduce your max durability. So you can see here on these boots, that's a pretty big tooltip. Let's try the shield. Down at the bottom, you can see my durability is currently 17 out of 40, but the 42 in parentheses is my max durability. Anytime you repair at a blacksmith, your max durability gets lowered. You can still repair to full, you just have lower max. And when you're enhancing as well, your max durability can go down. If you use these hammers, you do not lose max durability when repairing. So this hammer repairs 1 durability, this one repairs 5 durability, and the gold repairs you to full durability. Now a lot of people would think, oh, you should use the gold one, but quick tip, the gold one is equal to about 50 repair durability in terms of mats to the silver one. So if you're repairing more than 50, you can use the gold and you'll get more value. But another quick tip, every time you use a hammer on a piece of gear, it has a chance to restore max durability. I know. So if I'm going to repair the shield, I can slam it with a bunch of 1 durability repair hammers, and every time I use a hammer, it has a chance to go up to 41 max and then 42 max durability, so you can get back to full. So keep that in mind if you're looking for quick repair, gold hammers. If you're looking for efficient repair, silver hammers. If you're looking for max durability repair, bronze crappy hammers, whatever you want to call them. So yeah. All right, so let's move on real quick over to cooking is next on this character, and then I'll hop over to the other characters and I'll show you guys. I got a character for each, which is another thing to mention is you can get, like I said, only 1 primary and 1 secondary, but you can put them on your alts and you can learn on each of your alts, right? So you want to make sure you have every profession because they all have good stuff. So cooking, like I said, is very straightforward. You have buff food, you can get crit food, you can get haste food, you can get max health, you can get main stat, percent increase food, spell power, attack power, just your typical stuff. You'll go through, you'll find the ones you want. You can get defensive food, armor food, max health, blocking food, all that. Go through, look for what you want. But the big thing that cooking makes is out of combat health regen food. Now you're thinking, whatever, I'll just go to the vendor and buy it, right? Well, in Bless, you can't actually buy this food off a general vendor. Cooking is the only way to get out of combat health regen food. You can buy potions, so you could be chugging potions, I guess, out of combat, but if you want to be a lot more efficient, it's super cheap to make these. They give a lot of HP regen. There's a bunch of different kinds. I'm not sure why they all seem to do the same thing, but yeah. So cooking's quality of life is the out of combat food. Now, the one other thing that is nice about cooking is you have your mount and pet stamina recovery. Now the way mount and pets work, I talked about it, like I said, in another video, check that out. They have a fatigue bar or stamina, I use the same word interchangeably, but once it's out, you can't use your mount or pet anymore until it recovers over time. You can make food for your mount and your pet with cooking that you can feed to it to instantly restore its fatigue. So like I said, buff foods, mount and pet foods, and out of combat health foods. So let's move on to our next profession. Next we have Alchemy. Alchemy is pretty straightforward. It's your usual kind of healing potions, that kind of thing. No mana potions, but they do have energy potions. We're not sure if we're going to have energy on any EU, so I'm going to skip over these for now. Tomato juice, which is a hybrid potion between health and energy, so we won't worry about that. But Alchemy does have sort of kind of engineering things if you played other games before, where there's no trinkets in the game that you equip, but they're kind of battle effects, sort of. These are called battle items. You can see you get a movement speed increase by 20% within 6 meters friendlies, and less than friendly of efficiency increased spell power. So it sounds like a spell power buff as well. Like I said, the English translation's kind of working on those still. But a bomb, I'm sure you guys know, typical bombs in engineering. You throw the bomb, does damage in a radius, and reduces enemies' move speed. Same thing, you can learn some stuff over here at the vendor. Some more of these battle items, another bomb, corrosive solution, reduce enemies' move speed by 40% and reduce their armor. Pretty nice. Flare, removes stealth, but we won't have assassin for a while in an EU version, so, but it does do damage as well. So these might be nice for a little bit extra burst damage. Pretty cool. Damage. Ooh, look at this. 4 meters monster in front zone is feared. 3-second fear. So that's pretty cool. And then shield generator. So yeah, Alchemy's got some pretty cool stuff. And like I said, I'm going to head on over to the next one while I talk. You want all of these professions. They all come with really good stuff. You can only get 1 primary and 1 secondary per character, but you're really going to want these on all of your alts as well. They all come with really nice things that you either can sell in the auction house, but also don't really want to be buying them constantly on the auction house, right? You want to have all this stuff ready to go. So over here we move over to enchanting. Now this is a pretty good one too. The main thing enchanting has is runes. Now, I explained runes a little bit, but they're basically just slotted into your gear. You'll just have a little symbol on it, and you just right-click the rune, put it in. Pretty straightforward, similar to like gemming in other games. And you can see here, it gives you a buff. There's spell power, attack power, crit, haste. Then there's defensive runes as well. You know, stamina, block, magic resist, physical defense, that kind of thing, right? So that's enchanting's main point, but the other thing that enchanting has that's kind of their quality of life is taming scrolls. Now, like with cooking, the only way to get out of combat food was cooking. The only way to get taming scrolls is enchanting. Now, you do get some from quests, daily quests, that kind of thing, but this is the main source of taming scrolls. You can make lower level taming scrolls, which work up to pets and mounts to 15. You can make some... so anim is another thing, but basically when you use this, it creates a random pet or mount, depending on which one you use, a pet or mount one. The intermediate, which is up to level 35, the advanced, which is up to level 45, and there's a scroll even all the way up to level 50. So taming scrolls are just super important. Taming is such a huge part of the game. Being an enchanter and being able to make them is just really important. You could use them yourself or even sell them on the auction house because a lot of other people are going to want them as well. But same thing you can learn here from the trainer. You can see here you can get up to blue runes learned as well with enchanting. There's even a purple tier of runes, but I haven't been able to see. I don't think you can craft the purple tier of runes. But being able to craft blue tier runes is really good. So let's go on to our 5th and final profession, and I'll wrap things up and give you guys a couple of quick tips and hints. Last but not least, we have jewelry crafting. Jewelry crafting, you're going to make your necklaces and your rings. Rings seem to be, they're going to be different on NA and EU, so I'm not sure about rings because energy looks like it's changing. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. You'll still be able to make rings, and you can make reinforcing material. So jewelry crafting doesn't really have anything else. There's not really a quality of life item. Like with blacksmithing, you can make hammers. Enchanting, you can make taming scrolls. Jewelry crafting doesn't have anything. Even if you go over to the craftsman, he doesn't have anything to teach you either. The one thing though, like I said, I was going to give you guys a few tips and tricks that jewel crafting has is attack power. Now, whenever you're leveling up your professions, each tier gives you a buff in your production speed, jackpot odds, that kind of thing, right? Once you get to this tier, so this is 1st tier, 2nd tier, 3rd tier, the 4th tier, you gain a in combat buff. Jewelry crafting gives you 40 attack and spell power. We tested it. And then once you get all the way to the maximum tier, you get an additional 40 attack and spell power. So you get a total of 80. That works all the time. That's not like out of combat, you know, because it's attack and spell power, right? So that you get that buff for leveling up. Now, God tier or the max tier is very difficult to get to. So You know, I would only compare the first tier buff. But each primary profession, only primaries, not secondaries, give buffs. So jewelry, armorsmithing, and enchanting will give you a buff. Jewelry, as you can see here, is attack and spell power. Armorsmithing is 100 of each defense at the first tier, then an additional 100 at max tier, so 200 total defenses. And then enchanting is 20 stamina at the first tier, and then additional 20 stamina at max, so a total of 40 stamina. But like I said, the max tier is very hard to get to. Getting to this 4th tier isn't too bad at all if you put some time and effort in. So if you're trying to decide which stat you want, I would compare it this tier. So do you want 40 attack power, 20 stamina, or 100 of each defense? Now on Guardian, you get about 25 health per stamina, so that's, for comparison, about 500 health you're looking at, roughly around there. Each class seems to have a little bit different health to stamina ratio, but you're looking anywhere from 450 to 500 health depending on your class versus 40 attack power. So it's a pretty tough call. That's up to you what you think is better. But don't forget, if you start in the game early, you can take advantage of some of that quality of life stuff, get it up on the auction house, the repair hammers, the out of combat food, health potions, taming scrolls is probably going to be a pretty big one if people don't know where to get those from. So yeah, that's all the professions. That's all I have. If you have any questions at all, please make sure you leave them down in the comment section below. I'll be happy to clear up anything. Or if I forgot something, which I tend to do sometimes, don't be afraid to let me know. I screwed it up, forgot it, whatever. You know, tell me so I can fix it. But that's all I got. That's it for me. NA&EU's coming soon. I hope you guys are getting excited for that. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.